I'm so excited. I just saw Amazon out there. I think my product is here. Let's go check it out. Yes! Hey YouTube, Randy here from YeepLife. And on today's episode, we'll be installing the GenRight Swing Out Tire Carrier on this JL. So we'll be removing the manufactured tire carrier mount and installing this bad boy in. Stay tuned. Guys, thank you for tuning into the channel and supporting the channel. So we have my Jeep JK here, and what I use to hold my spare 37-inch tires here is a mount from TerraFlex. Now, although it do a well enough job to hold the spare tire, and it holds it well, over time what I'm noticing is that from time to time I'll have some mechanism issue with opening the tailgate. So that's something I always have to fix periodically. Now, on top of that, there is potential for the tailgate on the other end to kind of sag a little bit. So this is sort of inconvenient. We wanted something lighter. So that's the reason for us going with the GenRight Tire Carrier Swing Out style for the Jeep JL. So we'll get started with the install on that. There she is. She's a beauty. It's all raw aluminum. I think it weighs only 20 pounds. Very lightweight, guys. Now this is going on the wife's Jeep JL. You know what they say, happy wife, happy life. So this is the issue I was talking about on my Jeep JK, because over time the spare tire gets a little heavy, and because I don't have a tire carrier swing out, what it does is the pressure and the weight kind of drops a little bit, causing a sag and possibly even a little bent. So we'll first start off with taking off the stock tire carrier mount and then putting in the new one. Next, we want to put the top hinge mount together. This is for the top part of the tailgate door. So we're trying to get this piece together with this piece, just like that. And you want to look for the mount that has the GenRight logo. So we're going to put these two pieces together. We just got to put on the nut, and then again, guys, with the Allen key wrench, we're going to tighten these guys up. Using a socket wrench, 13mm socket, we're going to tighten these bolts up. So the idea is to have this GenRight hinge mount replace the stock hinge mount. We're going to go ahead and install this. Just make sure that the plate has the GenRight logo facing up. So using an impact wrench, we're going to go ahead and remove these 13mm bolts from the inside. So next what we're going to do is loosen these bolts. Now these are painted bolts, so we got to be careful that when we loosen them not to get the paint to strip. So we're going to do this as carefully as possible. Alright, so we're going to use a torque bit here to remove the bolts. Now we're going to make sure to save these bolts because we're going to have to reuse them. Okay, so we got the stock hinge mount out. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same for the bottom. Okay, before removing the bottom hinge mount, we're going to go ahead and just use the bottom hinge mount right now as a placeholder to kind of hold the door in place so we can install the GenRight Tire Carrier hinge mount. So we're going to do that right now. So again guys, just making sure that the GenRight logo is showing here and it's face upwards. Okay, we're going to reuse the factory hinge bolts. We're just going to hand tighten them for now just to hold the hinge mount in place. So the factory bolts that we stored earlier, we're just going to reuse them, put them back in here in place. You could use a 13 millimeter socket wrench. For me, I have a impact wrench here, so I'm just going to use that. Now we're going to come back and we're going to retorque these guys, and we're going to do that all around. I think GenRight wants you to torque them at 25 foot per pounds. So working from the outside, we're going to tighten these bolts up with the 3/8 Torx bit. So just get these tightened up for now, but we are going to come back and we're going to go ahead and retorque them to spec. So everything we've done inside and outside for the top, we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Repeat the same steps. Okay, next what we want to do is insert these bushings in. We want to put one on the top and one on the bottom, and either use a C-clamp or a bench vise and insert them in. And once we get them in there nice and tight, we want to insert the sleeve right in the middle. And the angle that you're looking at this from is from the passenger side, so we'll work on that side first. Now we're going to fit the bottom one in here. Get it hand tight first till you feel that it's in there. And I was fortunate enough not to have to use the C-clamp. All I had to use was a mallet here to hammer it in. Next we're going to simply drop the sleeve right in the center hole there. You might need to just use a mallet and hammer it in a bit. There it is, guys. So what we did with the top is the same thing we're going to do with the bottom part of the passenger side. And we're just going to insert the sleeve. So guys, we're going to go ahead and bring the tailgate carrier now, and we'll bring it to the back of the Jeep and see if we can fit these guys in. Okay, working on the passenger side, we're just going to slide the tailgate into the hinge mount. So on the passenger side of the tailgate, we got the bolt in. The bolt that we want to use is the bolt with the cam adjuster. Just go ahead and tighten up the nuts here. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Okay, we'll work with the bottom portion to get these guys tightened up. Okay, we're going to tighten the top portion. Now this one you don't have to make too tight for now. You want to leave some wiggle room so we could make some adjustment, some tilts up and down if needed. So you don't want to over tighten these guys for now. Well, we're about halfway done. Here's how it's looking so far. So we got the passenger side done, and now we're going to work with the driver's side. Okay, we're next going to pop off this little cover here so we could work with getting inside of the driver's side tail lights here. So using a 10mm socket, we have to remove the bolt in here to get to the tail light. We should now have access to the left tail light. And what we want to do is just remove it for now. There's a little clip here. So we could just set this aside for now. So that way we could work with the rest of the things we have to do here. Next, we're going to work with fitting in these bushings. Just get it hand tight for now. We'll probably have to use a mallet to hammer it in. Now I'll do the same for the bottom portion. We're next going to put the sleeve in. Now I don't know where this exactly goes. I think it should loop around here, but for now we're just going to leave this out. We'll figure it out later. Same thing we did on top, we're going to do the same on the bottom. Loop this thing around. I think that's how it goes. We're going to take the latch pin and insert it into the latch plate there, as such. So for this next step, I must say I have to cringe a little bit because it's going to require us to drill some holes in here to fit the mount in. Now every time we have to drill holes, I'm not too much of a fan of that, because if I mess up, then I'm left with a permanent trace there. But at this point, it looks like the tailgate might be a little bit too high on the driver's side, so we have to adjust it using or making some adjustment on the cam adjuster on the other end. So this is where I'm making the adjustment to lower the left tailgate part of things by just wrenching it here. So this is where we're going to have to drill a 3/8 hole using a step bit drill. So what we're gonna have to do is use a Sharpie and just mark them so that way we know where to drill. Now also just to mention that the driver's side of the tailgate's a little bit high. We need to even it out with the passenger's side, so we have to adjust the cam adjuster to lower this a bit. I made a little mark here just so that way I know that as I'm turning the cam adjuster that it'll lower so it comes down here to the pencil mark line, so that way we know that it's balanced off. So with a Sharpie I made a mark here. That's where we're gonna drill. I did the same for the bottom. There you go, 3/8. There you have it, 4 holes. So we're going to install this 3/16 inch backing plate. It's going to go inside the tail light compartment. Now what this does is it'll reinforce the rear section of the body where the latch plate attaches to the body. So what we're going to do next is replace these door latch bolts, the factory bolts, with the ones provided from GenRight in the kit. I believe these are the M8s. So we're going to replace them one at a time so that way the door latch does not lose its position. Alright, we're going to fish it back in and we're going to reinsert them. There it is, drilled to perfection. You will see the one in the bottom as well. Holes are perfectly aligned. Okay, so we got the M8 bolts in. We're going to put in the washer and tighten it up with the nut. With the 13mm socket, we're going to tighten up the bolts. Next, what we want to do is get these button head bolts into the tailgate latch, and using an Allen wrench or a hex key, we're going to go ahead and fasten these guys in. So at the moment I have no better tool than to use this hex key. It could take a little while, but no worries. There, I think we got that in there nice and tight. What we just did for the top, we'll do the same for the bottom. Okay, so I got the back tailgate plate installed. Now we're going to see if we could close the tailgate carrier and put the latch pins in. shouldn't be this difficult. We may have to tune it a little bit, but we're able to get it in for now. I think over time, if you put a little bit of WD-40 in there, you should be able to get it in easier. But there you go, the latch pins are in, so we just want to make sure and confirm that we can at least fit those in properly. As of right now, this is how it's looking. It's not too bad, you know. Raw color kind of throws it off a little bit, but you know, we'll figure that problem out later. We don't know if we want to paint it or just leave it raw for now. And if we do paint it, we're going to powder coat it. What we have here is the tie rod assembly. We're going to mount this right in the center of the triangle. Now for any tires 40 inches and above, you would want to mount the plate on the top, and any tires below 40 inches you would want to mount on the bottom, which in our case we'll do because we're running a 38-inch tire. We want to take the nut plate, insert it through the bottom of the hole, and just kind of hold it in position so we could screw these guys in. Next we'll install the stop lock mount. So the idea behind this, guys, is once you swing the tire carrier fully out, you will see that the latch pin just drops and then holds it in place securely. So that way, again, you won't hit the tail light, and that way you can just hold it in place properly while you put things in the trunk. Now comes the real test. We're gonna get this ginormous tire put on the back of the tailgate to see how it supports the weight. Alright, we just got the big old wheel mounted on the carrier. That was very heavy, guys. So next, what we want to do to fully mount the tires is we want to put in the rubber isolator. It's got a back plating to support that. And here's the T-handle, and this is to tighten it in position here. So just tighten the T-handle as best as we can. Make sure that it's holding the tire in place. Okay, I think that's pretty tight enough. Feels secure. So just as I suspected, guys, and this is because of the pressure and the weight of the tire, it causes the tire carrier to sag down a little bit. It's no problem. From the other side of the tailgate carrier, we're just going to adjust the cam adjuster to raise these guys up so they could fit right in. Okay, so it's been adjusted accordingly. I think it should fit right in now. Yep, looks like a good fit. So this is how it's looking so far, guys. It's pretty neat. I like the look. Very aggressive look. Carries the tire really well. I think it'll be pretty solid. Okay, just some of the final steps for the install. If we wanted to relocate our license plate, is to put it in a license plate mount here. And also you can relocate your factory rear camera and insert it in here. And what we have right here is the third brake light. So I believe this plate mount goes here, and all we have to do is insert the nut through there. So we got the license plate frame mounted along with the third brake light. Now all we have to do is work with the wiring. I'm not going to get into details with that. There's instructions that are provided. I think we just loop this in, and the way the tailgate carrier comes, it comes equipped with some sort of fishing wire here to help kind of fish the wire through. There's a hole in here that we kind of loop the wire through and fish it and pull it to the other side so where we can attach the wires. So after torquing all the nuts and bolts to spec, the final step here is just to reverse everything and put everything back in order. The side panels, the tail light, the tailgate panel, and everything inside as well. Alright guys, that's a wrap. Thank you for tuning in. That completes the video. Now before I leave, I wanted to give a shout out to Justin, the place where I got the actual tailgate powder coated. Now you can find him in Concept Powder Coating in Rancho Cucamonga. And actually I have a card that I'll leave for you guys here. So get his information, tell him YeepLife sent you, get it done over there. That guy does amazing work, and I hope he can do the same thing for you. Alright guys, take care. Thank you as always. I'll see you on the trail sometimes. Like and subscribe. YeepLife out.